You pull into the driveway, shift into park, and suddenly realize you have absolutely no memory of driving the last 5 miles. It's the same cognitive fog that settles in when you walk into the bathroom and ignore an empty toilet paper roll. Psychologists at the University of New York found that we don't skip this task out of laziness. Rather, because it offers no intrinsic reward, the brain simply refuses to allocate the mental energy required to notice it. Conscious attention is the most expensive resource the body possesses. Whether your brain is automating a complex task like driving or ignoring a low-value one like household chores, it is following a singular metabolic directive: keep the high-cost executive centers offline to conserve fuel. This is the brain operating as a ruthless energy-saving engine, simply defaulting to automatic motor routines to prevent itself from starving during the mundane actions of daily life. For our ancestors, this neurological efficiency was a matter of survival, allowing them to scan for predators while their bodies performed repetitive foraging tasks. Today, however, that ancient programming exists in a high-stimulus environment it was never designed to navigate. Modern technology often hijacks these shortcuts. Platforms like social media provide rapid, repetitive inputs that lock the brain into an effortless motor loop, requiring almost no conscious oversight to maintain. When you find yourself unable to stop scrolling, you are witnessing a tension between ancient biological efficiency and modern engineering. To change these behaviors, we have to look at the specific hardware that manages this internal handoff. All new, conscious decisions and difficult learning processes take place in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive center. During high-effort tasks, the frontal lobe glows bright red. This bar chart illustrates the massive metabolic cost, showing how quickly conscious efforts deplete energy reserves. To prevent exhaustion, the brain offloads the task. Watch the activity shift down into the brain's interior nodes. This explains why building a new habit feels so exhausting. That mental fatigue is a physiological signal that the brain is struggling to convert a conscious effort into an automated routine. The task is offloaded to the basal ganglia by solidifying a vector to the motor cortex. This requires a habit loop, a cue, a routine, and a reward. A dopamine particle fires across these nodes, tagging the behavior and cementing the structural neural circuit. Once this circuit is formed, the behavior is managed entirely outside of your conscious thought. It is no longer a psychological preference, but a hardened neurological reality. Because habits are physical structures created by neuroplasticity, we can use the brain's own offloading process to intentionally build healthy neural pathways. The most effective method is choice architecture, redesigning your physical surroundings to bypass the exhausted prefrontal cortex. By placing your running shoes by the door or removing distractions from your desk, you reduce environmental friction. This forces the brain's automation system to follow the path of least resistance. You can also utilize habit stacking, where you attach a new behavior to a routine that is already anchored in the basal ganglia, like practicing a new language only while you are already performing the automated task of making your morning coffee. By managing these environmental cues, you stop relying on willpower and start relying on the brain's natural drive toward automation. However, the brain's ability to physically build these new circuits depends on 3 foundational biological multipliers. First is morning sunlight. Early light exposure sets the circadian rhythm, which optimizes the neurocognitive pathways required for learning and neuroplasticity during the day. Second is REM sleep. During this phase, the brain acts as a cleanup crew, actively pruning useless synapses and physically solidifying the new habit connections formed since you last woke up. Finally, physical exercise floods the brain with BDNF. This protein acts as a fertilizer for the brain, promoting the growth of the new neural networks that house your developing habits. Habit formation is ultimately a biological engineering project. By optimizing your physical state and your environment, you stop fighting your neurobiology and finally begin to direct it.